what is the Sengol? Sengol has been derived from a Tamil word semai, which actually means righteousness. It originates, as historians say, from the Chola dynasty. It was used traditionally in coronation ceremonies of the Chola kings, and it symbolizes the transfer of power. It actually symbolizes nyay or justice, transfer of power from one king to the other, and of course, good governance. It was presented to independent India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, on the eve of independence. Remember, India got our independence on the 15th of August 1947. It was on the 14th of August 1947 that Sears presented the Sengol to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And this symbolically marked the transfer of power from the British to India. And what is this entire controversy around the Sengol? The Congress party says that the BJP has spread a false narrative on the Sengol. The Sengol was used as a tool to woo voters in Tamil Nadu. The Sengol, according to the Congress party, is a symbol of monarchy and should not be there in the temple of democracy in parliament in a democracy. The BJP, according to the Congress, has regularly misguided the people on the installation of the Sengol in the new parliament building. The BJP has countered this, saying that the Congress actually buried the Sengol. It was used as a symbol of transfer of power to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, but the Congress actually banished it, and when it put it in a museum in Prayagraj, in Allahabad, it was actually listed as a walking stick, as Pandit Nehru's walking stick. Because according to the BJP, the Congress party hates Hindu traditions, culture. The Congress tucked the Sengol away in a museum. Now, is there merit in the opposition saying that India is a democracy, people power, and in people power, Akhilesh Yadav says you should have had a copy of the Constitution where the Sengol has been put right next to the Speaker in Lok Sabha. Let me quickly bring in C.R. Keswan into this conversation, national spokesperson of the BJP and a scholar. C.R. Keswan, the Samajwadi Party led this battle against the Sengol, saying it should be removed from parliament. And it doesn't belong there. It's people power. This is a symbol of monarchy and not democracy, sir.
Good evening, Gaurav. First, the outlandish remarks of Samajwadi Party MP shows how uncultured and what an ignoramus he is. And with his statements, he's insulted the Adinams, which are the traditional Shaivite mutts, and also the Adinam heads, who hail from the backward class community, and he's insulted millions of, Lord Shiva devotees. But also see the, diabolic day he's chosen to give the letter and talk about this. This is the day when our Honorable Rashtrapati addresses the joint session of Parliament. And after the sacred Sengol's glory and respect were restored by Modi ji and it was placed in Parliament, it is taken in a ceremonial procession when the Rashtrapati ji addresses. So Mr. Chaudhary today, by timing it in this way, has basically undermined the sanctity of Parliament and also tried to demean the dignity of the office of the President. And what do you expect, from a Samajwadi Party MP like him? You talked about Akhilesh Yadav today. Did you see his statement? When he had Mr. Avadesh, the Faizabad MP, and said, "Ye Raja Ayodhya." Look at the mindset. Okay. And when Lord Sri Ram is the Lord of Ayodhya, he says his MP is the Lord of Ayodhya. That's the dictatorial mindset of a monarch. Which this Chaudhary is a slave. And when he talked about Danda, yes, if Mr. Akhilesh Yadav shows a Danda, this man runs for cover. Let me say this, Gaurav. Sengol is a symbol of justice. It is a symbol of righteousness. It is the way you look at it. Modi ji looks at it as a symbol of justice and places it in the house of the people. These monarchs, these dynasts, look at it as a symbol of power.
But it isn't just the Samajwadi Party, sir. It isn't just Mr. Chaudhary. It is not. Party. Look at what Renuka Chaudhary of the Congress Party says. Sir, the Congress Party says that
All
Sir,
of them are dynastic
Renuka
parties.
Chaudhary says that we are a secular country. In a secular country where you talk about being inclusive, you have a symbol which is just a Hindu dharm symbol in the temple of democracy, and the Congress perhaps thinks that this is not being inclusive or secular.
You look at the history of these people. When the original constitution was there, it was, headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji, Ambedkar ji, and the, such giants. And the original calligraphy in the constitution had pictures of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. Why did they remove it? Because it's not that they don't understand the parampara culture of Bharat and ethos. They are against it. They attack it at every time. And you talked about these Indie leaders. When Modi ji revived this, from a museum in Allahabad, the Congress party had cast it away. But let me talk about, since it attacks Tamil culture, Gaurav, when it was given, the Adinams, represent a very great tradition of Shaiva much. Devaram was written 1300 years back. They are devotional hymns on Lord Shiva. The Devarams were sung and holy water was sprinkled and given. In olden days, it was the monarchs. Now, the house of the people is, that is what defines democracy. So it's rightfully as a symbol of justice placed in the house of the people. These people, as I tell you again, and when they remove, and I talked about the constitution, why did they remove the pictures of Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, which Ambedkar ji and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji and Gandhi ji had approved? Because they are fundamentally against Bharat's parampara and culture and ethos. And this is again a reflection of that. But I want to tell you this. This is a very clear attack on our parampara and our culture. And, and let me say this again. Why are you surprised? When Modi ji, when the Congress party cast this away, banished it, demeaned, dishonored and disrespected the sacred symbol and cast it away as a walking stick. It was Modi ji who gave it primacy in parliament. What did the Indie leaders do? Did they, appreciate and see, probably atone for the sins? No. They boycotted the installation of the symbol. They boycotted the inauguration of the new parliament.
Sir, but this opposition isn't restricted just to the Samajwadi Party or the Congress Party. Sir, hear me.
I want to make one point before you interrupt.
Okay.
Everybody who reads history, Gaurav, you're a very, informed anchor. You're very seasoned. All of us know about the Tryst of Destiny speech, right? And you know that the Tryst of Destiny speech was inspired by the Rendezvous with Destiny speech by FDR. Does anybody know about the Sengol? No. When the original parliament was inaugurated, there was nothing to do with Indian traditions and things. But when the new parliament was inaugurated by Modi ji, it was all about Bharat's parampara and culture.
Okay.
So these people, they draw from the West and they denigrate our culture. And today's statement on the Sengol is precisely a reflection of that.
That's a grave charge that you level against the Congress party, that they're against Bharat ka culture, Indian culture, and they derive from the West. But it isn't restricted just to the Congress party or the Samajwadi Party. Meesa Bharti of the RJD says if this is about culture, put it in a museum. Let people go to a museum and see this. Let there be a copy of the Constitution in Parliament, sir.
First, Meesa Bharti should change her name before, being in an alliance with the, India alliance. It was the, yesterday we said, it was the 50th anniversary, the darkest chapter. And she was named after the emergency. Meesa means Maintenance of Internal Security Act. Look at where she draws from her roots and look at the hypocrisy. Do you want to even listen to something that somebody like this says? So, and let me say this again. The House of the People, represents the pinnacle of democracy, and the House of the People is the Lok Sabha, and the Sengol is a symbol of justice, and Modi ji has rightfully placed this as a symbol of justice so that the rule of Dharma guides the Lok Sabha. But for these monarchs, these dynastic monarchs, whether it's the RJD, whether it's the SP, the Congress, all of them follow a monarchy in terms of running the party. They look at this as a symbol of power, and looking at anything to do with justice, it probably is difficult for them to digest, which is why they're attacking this.
Okay, but would you want to respond to that criticism that is Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking India towards a Hindu Rashtra? Why only a Hindu symbol that comes from the Shaivite parampara of our country, from Tamil Nadu?
Is justice and dharma is universal. I think they should first understand that. Justice is agnostic. Justice and dharma have been from time immemorial. And what is wrong? If, in being proud about your Hindu culture, when you can talk about a tryst with destiny, what is wrong in celebrating, the Tamil culture and this, beautiful tradition of a Sengal?
Fair enough.
When you talk about dharma, does it, probably prick them?
Okay. What's
Will
wrong
they say dharma?
if Tamil culture, if Indian traditions are being appreciated, is what C.R. Keswan says. Sir, for joining me here on India Today, many thanks.